Assalamu alaikum, my beloved brothers and sisters. Pause for a moment. Your heart needed this more than you realize. Sometimes Allah sends a message at the exact second your soul is about to give up. A message that gently whispers, you are not forgotten, you are not unseen, you are not alone. And if these words are reaching you right now, then know with certainty, Allah chose you today, right now, to hear this reminder, because your heart has been carrying a silent weight and Allah is about to ease it. This is not a coincidence. This is a sign from Allah Himself. Your heart needed this message today. When your heart breaks, Allah draws you closer. My beloved brothers and sisters, there are moments in life when the heart reaches a level of exhaustion that words cannot describe. Moments when you carry a quiet heaviness that no one around you truly understands. And in those moments it feels as if the world has moved forward while you remain stuck in a place of silent struggle. Yet, what many people do not realize is that these are the very moments Allah looks at you with the greatest mercy. For the broken-hearted are never abandoned by Him. In fact, they are the souls He pulls closest to His divine care. Every tear that slips without sound, every night you lie awake with unanswered questions, every breath you take while holding emotions you cannot explain, none of these are unnoticed. Allah sees the weight that sits on your chest. He knows the thoughts you hide behind a smile. And He understands the pain you cannot put into words. Your heart may feel like it is falling apart, but in reality Allah is reshaping it, softening it, rebuilding it into something far stronger and far more beautiful than before. Sometimes He allows the heart to break, not to punish you, nor to push you away, but to clear space inside you for something better, something purer, something He has written only for you. He removes the attachments that were hurting you. He pulls you away from paths that would have harmed your soul, and He redirects you toward a future that is filled with blessings you cannot yet see. What you perceive as collapse is often the beginning of Allah's most gentle rebuilding. When Allah loves a person, He transforms their heart through experiences that deepen their faith, refine their character, and prepare them for the next chapter of their life. So if your heart feels heavy today, do not think you are failing. Understand instead that Allah is working on you in ways you might not recognize. The pain you feel now is not the end of your story. Rather, it is the moment when Allah is holding you the closest. The pain you feel is a sign that Allah is preparing you for something greater. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest misunderstandings many people carry in their hearts is the belief that hardship means Allah has turned away from them, that difficulty is a punishment, or that struggles are a sign of being forgotten. In reality, the opposite is true. When Allah loves someone, He prepares them, and His preparation does not always come wrapped in comfort. Sometimes it arrives through experiences that stretch the soul, challenge the mind, and reshape the heart in ways you never expected. What feels like chaos to you is often divine construction, a rebuilding that begins quietly within the unseen world before it appears in your life. There are seasons of life where everything you touch seems delayed, where every plan feels uncertain, where every door you knock on remains closed, and where every dua you make seems to echo back without an answer. Yet what you cannot see is that Allah is protecting you from pathways that would have harmed your future, from people whose presence would have drained your peace, and from opportunities that would have pulled you away from your true purpose. His denial is often His greatest form of mercy, because He sees beyond what you desire and guides you toward what you truly need. The pain that overwhelms you today is shaping the strength you will rely on tomorrow. The confusion you feel is preparing the clarity that will soon arrive. The loneliness you experience is building an inner companionship with Allah that no human relationship could ever replace. And the patience you are learning now is the very patience that will carry you through the blessings He is preparing for you. Nothing you are facing is random. Every hardship has a script, and that script was written by the one who knows the ending long before the beginning. Sometimes Allah tests you not to break you, but to elevate you to a level you could never reach without being purified through difficulty. A heart that has never struggled cannot truly appreciate peace. just as a soul that has never experienced darkness cannot value light. So when you find yourself in pain, remind yourself that this is the journey of the chosen. For Allah refines those He intends to raise. You are not being restricted, you are being redirected. You are not being held back. You are being reshaped for something extraordinary that is on its way. The delay of your relief is not proof that Allah is absent. It is proof that His timing is wiser than your expectations. He is preparing doors that will open effortlessly, opportunities that will align perfectly, and blessings that will feel tailor-made for your heart. And when everything finally unfolds, you will look back at your hardships with gratitude, realizing that without them, you would have never reached the destination Allah had written for you. What you lost was never meant to break you. My beloved brothers and sisters, there comes a point in every believer's life when they look back at something they lost, a person they loved dearly, an opportunity they dreamed of, a season that once brought them peace, and they wonder why Allah allowed it to slip away. The human heart naturally attaches itself to comfort, to what feels familiar, to what promises ease and security. And when Allah gently removes those things, it can feel like the world beneath you has shifted, leaving you uncertain, afraid, and questioning whether your life will ever feel whole again. What we often fail to understand is that Allah removes with precision, and He removes only when the heart is ready for a transformation it cannot yet comprehend. Every loss you faced, every disappointment that shook your expectations, every unexpected ending that left you confused, none of it happened by accident. Allah does not take anything from a believer except to replace it with something purer, something better, something more aligned with the believer's true path. He sees the future you cannot see. He knows the truth you are unaware of, and He protects you from outcomes that would have harmed the softness of your heart. The things you cried for were not rejected. They were reallocated in ways that align with your ultimate good. Sometimes Allah removes people who were filling your life with noise so you can finally hear your own soul again. Sometimes He closes a door you desperately wanted to walk through because on the other side was a hardship that would have drowned you. Sometimes He allows disappointment so that your heart learns to stop relying on what is temporary and starts finding its comfort in what is eternal. Allah does not leave you empty. He only empties your hands so He can place something better in them at the right time. Loss is not a punishment, it is a purification. It is Allah cleansing your heart from attachments that were preventing you from growing into the person He designed you to be. And though the process is painful, the outcome is beautiful. You may not see it yet, but everything you lost was part of a divine exchange. Something was taken, yes, but something greater is being prepared for you. The believer's life is like a series of seasons, and just as a tree must shed its leaves to bloom again, your heart must sometimes let go in order to flourish. There is a wisdom in letting go that many people never learn. What was never meant for you will never stay, no matter how tightly you hold it, and what is meant for you will find you even if the entire world stands in the way. What you think slipped from your hands actually slipped into the hands of Allah, and there is no safer place for it to be. And one day, when the pieces of your life align in ways you never expected, when the blessings unfold effortlessly, and when peace returns to your heart, you will look back and say, Alhamdulillah, now I finally understand why Allah didn't let that stay. You did not lose anything. You were being guided toward a version of yourself that could only emerge through change. You were being protected from paths that would have harmed you in ways you may never realize. And you were being shaped into someone whose trust in Allah becomes deeper, whose heart becomes stronger, and whose future becomes brighter. What left was never meant to break you. It was meant to build you into the person Allah always knew you could become. Allah heard every dua you whispered, even the ones you thought were lost in the darkness of your night. My beloved brothers and sisters, there is something profoundly beautiful about the moments when a believer raises their hands in dua, especially during the times when the heart is tired, the mind is overwhelmed, and life feels too heavy to carry alone. Those late night whispers that you released into the silence of your room, the quiet pleas that escaped your lips while your eyes filled with tears, the unspoken prayers sitting deep in your chest that you were too exhausted to articulate, none of them disappeared. They were not forgotten. They did not fade into emptiness. They rose to the one who hears you even before you speak and responds to you even before you understand what to ask for. You see, many people assume that dua is answered only when the solution arrives in the form they imagine. But Allah, with His infinite wisdom, answers in ways that protect your soul, shape your destiny, and guide your heart toward what is best. Sometimes His answer is immediate, because He knows the timing is perfect. Sometimes His answer is delayed because He knows your heart needs to grow before the blessing arrives. And sometimes His answer is different from what you asked for, because what you wanted may have looked pleasing from the outside, yet carried a burden that would have crushed you from within. Allah does not deny your dua. He redirects it toward what carries goodness for you in this world and the next. Every time you whispered, Ya Allah, help me, angels carried that plea upward. Every time you cried from the ache of confusion or fear, Allah knew exactly which part of your heart needed healing. And every time you walked away from sujood feeling like nothing changed, something actually did, because dua is not merely a request, it is a connection. It opens a door between your heart and the mercy of your Creator. A door that no hardship, no disappointment, no person and no circumstance can ever close unless you turn away. There were moments when you thought your dua was rejected simply because you didn't see immediate relief. But in reality, Allah was writing a solution far better than what you imagined. He was moving people, shifting circumstances, closing harmful paths, opening hidden routes, and aligning events in ways you could not see. The delay was not a silence, it was divine orchestration. The waiting was not abandonment, it was positioning. And the tears you shed in the process were not signs of weakness, they were signs of your heart returning to the one who created it. My beloved brothers and sisters, dua is never lost. It is never too small. It is never ignored. Allah knows the trembling of your voice when you speak. He knows the pain behind the breath you try to steady. And He knows the sincerity behind the words you cannot express. Even the dua you made half asleep, the dua you made while standing in a line at work, the dua you made while walking alone, the dua you made in desperation, all of them were collected, preserved, and responded to in the most perfect manner. And what is more beautiful is this: sometimes Allah holds back the answer because He loves the sound of your dua, the softness it brings to your heart, the humility it creates in your soul, and the closeness it builds between you and Him. For the believer, the state of dua is already a blessing, because it places you exactly where you are meant to be, under the shade of His infinite mercy. You may not see how your prayers are unfolding, but Allah does. You may not understand why the answer hasn't come yet, but Allah does. And you may feel that you are alone in your wait, but the truth is that you are surrounded by a divine plan that is moving quietly, slowly, gently toward the moment when everything will finally make sense. When that moment arrives, when your heart receives the relief it has been searching for, you will look back at every single dua and realize that none of them were wasted. They were seeds planted by Allah, growing silently beneath the surface until the perfect moment of bloom. So hold on to hope. Keep making dua. Keep trusting the one who loves you more than anyone ever could. Your heart has been heard, your tears have been counted, and your prayers are on their way to becoming one of the most beautiful chapters of your life. You were never alone. Allah was carrying you through every moment you thought you couldn't survive. My beloved brothers and sisters, there are chapters of your life that you rarely talk about, chapters that sit quietly inside your soul, holding memories of silent battles, private fears, and moments when you felt so overwhelmed that even breathing felt like a task. These are the moments when you genuinely believed no one understood you, no one saw your pain, and no one noticed the storms raging within your heart. Yet what you did not know, what you may still not fully realize, is that Allah was closer to you in those moments than He ever was during your days of ease. Think back to the nights when sleep refused to come, when your thoughts spiraled, when your chest felt heavy with emotions you couldn't name, and when tears flowed before you even understood why. You may have felt alone, sitting in the darkness of your room, wondering why life had become so complicated and why relief seemed so far away. But in that darkness, Allah was with you. He was listening to the prayer you couldn't form. He was understanding the pain you couldn't describe. And He was holding your heart in His mercy even when you didn't feel it. Solitude never meant abandonment. It meant that Allah wanted a moment with you, a moment uninterrupted by the world. There were days when you walked into public spaces with a smile painted across your face, while inside your soul screamed for comfort, healing, or understanding. People may have misjudged you, misunderstood you, or overlooked your struggle, but Allah never did. He knew the heaviness behind your smile, the exhaustion behind your strength, and the courage it took for you to show up when everything inside you felt like it was falling apart. He never once let your pain go unnoticed, because He is the Lord who sees what the world cannot see and hears what the world cannot hear. Every time your heart broke and you thought you were collapsing, Allah was the one softening the ground beneath you so your fall would not destroy you. Every time you reached your limit and felt that you had nothing left inside to keep going, Allah placed strength in places of your heart you didn't even know existed. Every time you whispered, Ya Allah, I can't do this anymore, He held you through the next moment and the next and the next, until you silently realized you survived something that once felt impossible. He was carrying you when you thought you were standing alone. My beloved brothers and sisters, sometimes Allah hides His help within ordinary moments, the unexpected message that brought you comfort, the sudden calm that washed over your chest after a painful day, the small opening in a situation that felt suffocating, the person who appeared just when you needed a kind word. These were not coincidences. They were signs of divine care, little gifts from Allah to remind you that even when life feels out of control, His mercy is always in control. And the truth is, you are not weak for crying, you are not failing for struggling, and you are not broken for feeling lost. In fact, the moments that brought you to your knees in weakness were the moments that brought you closest to Allah in sincerity. He saw you trying when you could barely move forward. He saw you holding on to faith even with trembling hands, and He saw you choosing patience when your heart was desperate for relief. These silent acts of perseverance are recorded by Him with honor, written in your book of deeds as evidence of your resilience. Allah never left you, not even for a heartbeat. He was with you in the halls of hospitals, in the quiet of your car, in the confusion of your mind, in the shaking of your voice, and in the loneliness you never shared with anyone. Every sigh was known, every fear was seen, every moment you broke was witnessed by the one who promises that He is closer to you than your jugular vein. One day when you stand in a chapter of life filled with ease and clarity, you will look back at the storms you survived and say, Subhanallah, if Allah had not carried me through those moments, I would not be here today. And you will realize that even when everyone else left, Allah stayed. Even when everything else fell apart, Allah held you together. Even when you lost yourself, Allah guided you back. Your story is not one of abandonment, it is one of divine companionship. You were never alone. You are not alone now, and you will never be alone, because the one who took care of you in your darkest nights is the same, one who will guide you into your brightest days. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. And Allah is preparing a way for you in the most silent, miraculous ways. My beloved brothers and sisters, there is a moment in every believer's journey when everything feels overwhelmingly heavy. A moment when you look around and see no progress, no open doors, no signs of change. And you begin to wonder whether Allah has written ease for you at all. You may feel stuck in a chapter that seems endless, burdened by circumstances that appear unchangeable, and surrounded by uncertainties that whisper discouragement into your heart. But what you cannot see, and what you must remind your heart of, is that Allah often works in silence long before His help appears in your life. You see, the human eye is limited. It sees only what is in front of it. But Allah, with His infinite knowledge, sees every path, every possibility, every unseen detail that must align perfectly for your relief to arrive at the right moment. There are blessings headed your way that are currently growing